Hi, this is Professor Cordes, and this is the Week 2 overview video for English 113 composition. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we are finishing up our profile writing from Week 1. Here you will begin to notice that this week is a lot of fine-tuning, proofreading. We are using the feedback that we got from our tutoring to make changes and improvements to our writing. If you will notice, I'm just going to give a quick overview here. A couple items to finish by day 3 for this week. You've got profile readings in our text, as well as editing and proofreading. Editing and proofreading is one of the most important parts about writing. It is where we are able to see our mistakes, go back and revise. Writing is writing, where you sit down, pen and paper, and you just get your thoughts out of your head and create and compose. Proofreading and editing is where you go back and fine tune. So it's almost the idea that in our minds, the first part was practice, and now we are making sure that we are set and ready to go for the bigger details. Okay. I'm sharing my screen with you so that you guys can see the overview of what's expected. This is in the Week 2 Learning Activities folder. It says you've got the readings for editing and proofreading. There's the lecture videos, which I will post more about those components. There's also the discussion board, which will give you guys a chance to interact with each other. So if you go over to the discussion board, let me click on it here. What happens is you have the opportunity to communicate and engage with your classmates. So on the discussion board, you're going to put down your subject. You're also going to not your subject that you're doing a profile, but what was the profile that you were writing about? Who was that person? What was the event? What was the experience? You're going to have your angle. So what was that memorable component? What is interesting you the most? What is that unique thing that's going to catch the audience's attention? And then you're also going to talk about your progress. Kind of, okay, this is what I observed. It was a lot harder to write than I thought it was. It was good, it was bad, whichever. So this is actually going to help you tremendously kind of begin to process those things as you begin to revise for a final draft. Okay. The very last component that you see is that you're going to comment on at least 2 students' posts. So you're going to go back and you'll comment and you'll make notes and kind of say, oh my gosh, I had that struggle too when observing. Oh, I didn't think about that angle when it came to this. So you are kind of engaging back and forth. Because you are engaging, it says your posts and comments are due week 2, day 3. So I would recommend getting those done earlier rather than later. Okay. Doing this discussion board early in the week actually might help you process, come back to it the next day, kind of reflect and write to some colleagues. But this right here will kind of help you process through things. Okay. The last component for this week, and I'll have a lecture video because this is quite in depth as this is your very first essay. This is where you are turning in your draft. You have worked super hard over the last 2 weeks. It says here, you've taken 2 weeks, journalistic piece of writing and your observations. These are the same components that you've done before. You'll notice that it's still 3 pages. So you are not having to add to your writing. You're just fine tuning and revising with the peer edit process and the proofreading process. Submitting your items by day 7. Okay, like all major writing assignments in this class, automatically submitted through a program that checks for matching material. So it does look for plagiarism. If you went online, say, oh, here's a profile piece of writing, it checks it right away. So please make sure you're authentically doing your own work. Okay, we want to be honest. You'll notice that the rubric is the same. I'm going to be grading upon, do you have an interesting topic? Do you have the necessary background to offer for that person or that event? Okay. Are you telling your readers about the interesting angle or providing that through your writing? Are you explaining your firsthand account? You had coffee with the person, you observed them at work, you sat down for a meal together and watched them work, whichever. Okay. Do you use engaging details? Do you have descriptive type writing? And then the last, do your sentences make sense? Okay. Part of the proofreading process, which I'll again explain in the lecture video, but the proofreading process helps us move away from the talking, vocal, verbal tone and gets us to more of an academic setting or an academic experience. Okay. The way that I talk is not the way that I academically write. They are much different from each other. So academic writing, profile writing specifically, is going to be a little bit different than you just telling someone, hey, here's the person that I met and here's the experience that I had. Okay, so we're gonna work on those, making sure that your grammar is set and ready. Okay, so looking here, let's see, going back. All right, so once again, for this week, you're going to be reading through the profiles of editing and proofreading. Okay, so make sure you go through those. Watch the lecture videos. You're also going to make sure that you get on the discussion board. You'll do your own post as well as comment to others. And then at least by the end of the week, you are submitting your profile writing. Okay, please email me if you have any questions or concerns. Week 2. Here we go.